This episode is brought to you by Wise. Wise is the app for international people using money around the globe. With Wise, you can send, spend, and receive up to 40 currencies with only a few simple taps and save up to 55% compared to major banks. Plus, Wise won't add hidden fees to your transfer. Whether you're buying souvenirs with pesos in Puerto Vallarta or sending euros to tip your Colosseum tour guide, you know you're getting a fair exchange rate with no extra markups. Be smart. Join the 15 million customers who choose Wise. Download the Wise app today or visit wise.com. Learn more by visiting wise.com/US/compare. T's and C's apply. This episode is brought to you by Window Nation. October is here, and so is the return of chilly air seeping into your home. That is, if you have old, stuck, or cracked windows. Eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with top-quality replacement windows from Window Nation. And this month, when you buy 2 windows, you get 2 free. There's no limit to how many windows you replace, and your total price includes 1-day installation. Get started on your free estimate before October 31st to save big on replacement windows. Schedule a fast free estimate now with the pros at Window Nation. Visit windownation.com for more information. That's windownation.com.
Today on CityCast Denver, Mayor Mike Johnston was back on 16th Street for another big announcement this week. He wants to buy the pavilions. But what's the plan? We've got a very interesting guest on with us today to talk about how the mayor wants to bring a dead mall back to life. Plus, another allegedly conservative local business is speaking out against liberal calls for boycotts. And of course, our wins and fails of the week. Today is Friday, October 3rd. I'm Paul Caroli, and here's what Denver's talking about. Welcome back to CityCast Denver, the show about the city that's about to get booted out of the Love is Blind group chat because I'm sorry, I'm not lurking. I just can't keep up. I'm sorry. I haven't watched all the episodes. I haven't even watched a minute of it.
There's only 1 episode so far.
No, I think there's 6.
They
did a big dump of them.
They dumped them all?
They dumped a batch. Then they're going to do another batch next. Well, you're clearly not watching either.
I'm behind.
Are you going to watch?
I'm going to watch. I thought, geez, I didn't know that it was going to be 6 episodes at once. I thought I was just going to have to catch up on one.
And it's quite long. It's a lot. And
I'm sure that group chat is popping. I got the invite and I got overwhelmed as soon as I saw the link. I'm sorry, Deep. I know you're listening. I saw the link and I appreciate it, but I was like, oh my God, I'm scared. Another group chat.
It sounds good though. Apparently there's like a entrepreneur who's one of these daters who some people are like sleuthing out. He might be a scammer.
Oh, I love that.
I know. I want to know everything.
Joanne the Scammer on Love is Blind.
Amazing, right?
That's great.
Okay. Anyway, it's Friday. We're going to talk about the news in a minute, but we're coming to you from the beautiful Dude IDK Studios in 5 Points. Producer Olivia Julove is joining me today. You've heard her voice.
Morning.
And we have a fantastic guest, someone we've wanted to have on a Friday for a long time. He's been on the show before, but never on a Friday. He is the most recent Republican candidate to represent Denver in Congress, an unsuccessful campaign. Kind of a long shot in Denver, Democrat stronghold. And he is a fixture of the Denver chatter on social media, I would say. Welcome.
Oh, am I? That's
You're online. You're online.
Oh, my God, of course.
I don't like to think of my campaign as unsuccessful. I just didn't.
You just didn't win?
I just didn't win. But I have to admit, going in, like there are multiple reasons why you run a campaign.
Yeah.
And as a Republican in Denver, I knew I wasn't going to win going in. So like that wasn't my goal at the end. So so I was, and I actually found that makes a lot of things very easy.
Mm-hmm. You don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. And you can be a little more like, like, all right, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I'm not, oh no, am I going to lose 2 voters because of this? Or you don't have to worry about a lot of other stuff that like some other more serious Yeah. Like I'm like here. I'm doing my thing. I'm going around exploring the city, meeting new people.
It's like nothing matters. Do whatever the hell you want.
Exactly.
Why not?
A lot of the stress that's there in a lot of other campaigns was gone. I'm like, I know it. It was good.
I mean, that's like when you apply to jobs that you're unqualified for. You could just say anything in your resume.
Yeah, if I get it,
just
great.
Put like
if not,
random.
oh well, I wasn't qualified
exactly,
anyway.
And it's like your loss. You could have had someone that's really underqualified and like.
Yes, Denver, it's your loss. You could have had someone.
Okay,
I could have been in Washington right now.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have been on the show. So
that's true.
Valdemar, I think the listeners are dying to know what are Denver Republicans up to these days? What are you working on?
I've kind of been a little more quiet in the actual party in workings this year.
Okay.
I still am a voting member on the state central committee and the Denver GOP committee, but not as involved in there with them. Right now, I think a lot of people are in more of the planning stages for what's about to come in the next year.
You got to find a new candidate to run against Diana to get next year.
Yes, someone has to do that. I don't know who that's going to be yet.
Yeah.
not you.
I don't know who that's going to be yet, but we'll see.
You don't want to launch it here on CityCast Denver? Come on.
Maybe I'll come back one day.
You can
if
come back.
If that were to happen.
If you
I'll
launch, you'll do it
and
here.
Launch with you guys. If you want.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
Why
it.
not?
We'll talk about
If
it.
that's a big if that were to happen.
All right. Well, before we get to our top story, we do have a little bit of business today, and it's important business because today is the last day of our fall membership drive. This is the last chance to sign up and become a member and get a Neighbors Make Denver tote bag.
Tote bag.
A very nice tote bag. You're going to want this tote bag. And it's the last chance. And we really need your support because we are close to our goal, but we have not yet met our goal. So if you are listening right now and you know that CityCast Denver matters to you, if you have found value in this show, in this community, if you have talked to people about something you heard on the podcast or read in the newsletter, or if you saw a clip on social media that made you smile, you got to sign up now. You've got to do it.
If you've ever talked shit about CityCast Denver,
yes,
this also applies to you. You also have to join.
I did want to say, I wanted to talk about this because...
Like, is that me? Have I ever done that?
You've been very kind. You've been very kind.
I think I'm usually kind to you guys.
But some of the people you hang out with on X, though, there's one of these people who I wanted to talk about who said that we are possibly Soros funded at one point. Which I have to
that's just a very common, when you have nothing else to say, you kind of go to that. Like, they must be Soros funded.
It is one of those things.
Yeah.
We do have a website.
I don't know.
But here's the thing. We're not Soros funded. We're you funded. If you sign up and become a member today, join CityCast Denver Neighbors.
I keep hearing about your tote bag. I've been hearing about it like for weeks now.
It's a really sexy tote bag. It's like, it's got a braided handle, reinforced.
Oh, really?
Canvas.
It's a good tote bag.
It's not one of those flimsy things that's going to break. It will hold your watermelon, your cantaloupe, whatever you're getting at the farmer's market.
Pumpkins now.
Yeah, pumpkin season.
Dude, a whole pumpkin in that tote.
Yeah, probably. I mean, not guaranteed, but...
So you got to get that tote, you got to sign up today. It is your very last chance. If you've been hearing us talk about it, now is the time. There's no other time. In the past membership campaigns, I fudged it. Afterwards, people were like, can I get the mug? Can I get the mug? And I was like, yeah, okay, you can get the mug. This time, no. Not going to happen.
They're gone. We don't have any left.
So you got to sign up. Membership.citycast.fm. It's $10 a month, $100 a year if you want the deal. You get the tote bag. You get a chance to win the $250 Bonanno Restaurants gift certificate and the sense of satisfaction of knowing that you made the city a better place. Membership.citycast.fm. All right, let's get to this top story.
Yeah, if you were Soros funded, you wouldn't have to be doing that.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly.
We would just be quiet. We would shut
You'd
up.
have a staff of like 50 people and,
we'd have an evening
Sorry
show.
to interrupt there, but
I would have an assistant. I would have an assistant right now.
We can talk about that next year. If this campaign goes
I
well.
would have had a makeup person when I walked in the studio, like do me up and make sure I
would look
good
a lot
on
better
camera.
right now.
Me too. Soros, give us money.
Please join membership.
All right, let's get to our top story. I have been dying to talk about this one because it's one of my favorite ongoing storylines in the city. The mayor and the Downtown Denver Partnership this Saturday are throwing another big party to celebrate the reopening of 16th Street. Yes, they have been advertising on the show. No, that's not why we're talking about it, but the construction is over, and this is a big part of their whole project to revitalize downtown, to bring back life to downtown. And they have something to celebrate. On Tuesday, the announcement was very exciting. I got a breathless call from the mayor's director of communications. She was so pumped to say this. But the Downtown Development Authority, which is the tax financing district the voters approved last year to help get the economy moving downtown again, has agreed to buy the Denver Pavilions Mall for $37 million.
What Valdemar. A deal.
Is that a deal? Valdemar, what do you think? The Pavilions Mall, the city owns it now.
There's a lot to say about that. First of all, I don't think that the city should be in the commercial property development business. I'm not really. I'm also not like super mad about it either. I'm kind of like, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. With like a lot of times with a lot of officials, even though I don't agree with a lot of the things the mayor does, I do want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, all right, let's give him time. Let's see what happens with this. But I'm not super happy about it. Also, I think $37 million is kind of a lot of money, especially if you look at a few months ago or earlier this year, 2 giant skyscrapers downtown sold for 3 point something million dollars, down like 90% of what their value was several years ago. And so the pavilions have been on the market. None of the developers wanted to buy it. None of them felt it was worth $37 million. So why does the city view that it's worth $37 million? And also to say that I do love the pavilions. Growing up in Denver, I remember when the pavilions opened, it was a huge thing. We got this new fancy thing downtown. Some restaurants came in. There was a big new movie theater, and the Hard Rock Cafe came in at the time, and all these other things. Like, we are a hard rock city. It was really something that people in Denver were proud of. So it is kind of sad to see that it's become what it is right now. And the idea of preserving it, I love. But I also have to kind of be realistic about it and thinking, is it worth the city doing this? Are we going to get a return on that investment? And so I have a lot of questions that I am willing to let the city do their thing and see how it goes.
You're not going to go handcuff yourself to the pavilions and say, no.
No, I didn't think about that as an option, but...
Say, no, Mike Johnston.
Well, I'm going to chain myself to one of those... escalators going up.
Yeah.
One of those busted escalators. So I do think the place, it has had a rough few years. In 2015, it was like 90+% occupied, but since the pandemic, the stores have been leaving. We've talked about them as they've happened. It's Hard Rock Cafe, Sephora, Uniqlo, my favorite clothing store, long gone, which replaced a Barnes & Noble, which obviously also closed, Banana Republic, Gap. Was this a special place to you, Olivia?
Well, I guess it holds a special place in my heart because this was I believe it to be the first place I went when I moved to Denver, which is so random. Like thinking about the course of like where I've ended up.
You just ended up in the middle of the city as the first place.
Okay.
But I do think that, to your point, Valdemar, when it was exciting in 1998, it was meant to be that centerpiece of the 16th Street Mall.
This was not 1998. I was busy being born that year. But this was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 2021-ish, when I moved here. And I was meeting some friends who lived in Ogallala, Nebraska, because Denver is the closest city to Ogallala, Nebraska. So they all come to get their nails done and stuff in Denver. Nice. And they're like, hey girl, do you want to like meet up at the mall? And I was like, yeah, I have literally no friends. Like, let's go. And so we're going to the pavilions. And I was like, hell yeah, I don't know what that is, but like, let's go. And it's the first place I ever went. And I remember, like, I was thinking about this when I was reading the story, and I was like, this is the first place I ever went. This was like my first impression of living in Denver. Also, I totally thought that this was the 16th Street Mall. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, the mall. This is the mall. Because, like, there was the mall rides and stuff going around. And I was like, oh, yeah.
And it is a mall.
Yeah. And I was like, that's the mall. Ta-da! And then I don't know. I don't know that it's really special to me, but like I have literally never been back since.
So no,
that was the last.
Firmly not special to you.
Well, it was the first place I ever went, so kind of.
When I was living downtown with my wife, we did go to see a couple movies. I like that theater. It's not ever busy.
I went there just like a few weeks ago to see the new Conjuring movie.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, it wasn't super busy, but like I thought it was nice. It was nice. We went down there. went in, saw it. It was kind of sad how it did seem very empty.
Oh my God. It's so bleak.
Yeah.
I think it's 61% occupied or 60% occupied, and like it doesn't even look that much.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
It looks almost the reverse, like it's only 40% occupied. But
yeah, because it's occupied by like Coyote Ugly and like a bowling alley, and like I don't know anyone that's ever gone to those places. It is kind of
weird that there's a bowling alley there downtown.
It's very
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I think more. I guess bowling alley more of like suburbish type thing to do, not. Let's go downtown and go bowling.
The Bolero in Lakewood by my house is popping. That parking lot is full.
Well, I think to your point earlier of like, is this the city's role to be involved in commercial real estate? I think that's the kind of thing that like, it doesn't feel to us like it fits the market. And that's kind of the risk. If the city takes this on, they're making decisions that are contrary to the market, or they're not letting the market find its own needs to address, So I see kind of what you're saying there, but I do wonder what their plans are.
And I think that like the parking lot I was reading that right behind it is also not part of it, which I never knew this until just yesterday, that I guess there's they've been trying to reconnect those two properties to connect the parking lot that's basically attached to it to the pavilions. But again, that was another thing that developers are businesses, no one wanted to do that. No one was willing to go in and invest that. And so they're looking at I don't know if they already have, or they're looking to acquire that parking lot.
They have acquired
and it's going to be, 23. So they paid $23 million for that parking lot. And again, $23 million for the parking lot when 2 skyscrapers just sold for $3 million. It's combined as one.
You do one
thing. So is the city spending money? Well, obviously it is spending money that no one else was willing to spend the money on. So what kind of deal did they get? Yeah. I don't think it was good.
Well, it's a question we should ask the mayor at some point. But to be totally clear, it's not like it's taxpayers. It's not Denver citizens who are paying taxes that are going directly to this. It's debt on future property taxes downtown. And downtown business owners voted for this themselves. That's who approved the DDA expansion last year. So it's not Joe Schmo and in 5 Points.
But it is tax money that would have went to the city. And yes. I'm not against the DDA. I do think that that's a fine project, and I'm not mad that the money went to them. But it is. I think it comes from property taxes downtown, right? Like a certain portion goes to this organization, and they're supposed to help revitalize downtown, and that's fine. I just don't know if this is the best way to have done that.
Well, I mean, this feels pretty on brand for what Mike Johnston's kind of.
Yeah, he loves downtown.
Yeah, his ethos for downtown and bringing downtown back, because he keeps saying he really wants people to come downtown, spend time downtown, spend money downtown, eat downtown, all this stuff. And so this big, mostly empty, fixture downtown, I can see his thinking there. If he can bring this back and make this an economic driver again, that would be huge for his goals of bringing people back and getting people to spend money.
I think it's the people to get back. The reason why he's doing it is because of the multiplier effect, right? If you make downtown more attractive, remote workers will want to return. We know Denver has been lagging behind other cities in terms of office workers coming back to the office downtown. So if they come back, it'll help businesses. So I think the question is will the mayor's plans attract those people back to the office?
I mean, does it matter though if what remote workers want? Isn't it more if their company and corporation is willing to foot the bill for office space and for the proper accommodations and to do stuff that will accommodate them in the office? I mean, the remote workers, all they want, I'll come into the office, but if there's no office to come into and there's no stuff in the office, it doesn't really matter what they want.
I think they have a say. I think these discussions play out inside of workplaces. Because if someone is more willing to come back, if they like going downtown, they're going to be less resistant to a change in remote work policy. And then the company is going to see more value in maintaining a lease and paying for a lease downtown. This is the thing that has been negotiated inside workplaces between bosses and staff for the last 5 years, is how to manage this office space question. And one of the reasons why it's hard is because it is a push and pull, like you're talking about. And it is a struggle to figure it out. I mean, we have that problem all the time. We're talking about what days are we going into work? Is it a pain in the ass? Do we actually, maybe get to say hi to someone like Valdemar in person for the first time? Like that's a real value for us in our job. And maybe other people are seeing it, maybe they're not. Anyway, the future. What are their plans? I want to talk about these things because I pulled a bunch of their quotes and they all say different things, right? So the city officials, there was a big press conference. What do we know? We know, according to Denverite, the plan is to bring in a, quote, international retail specialist to put together a master plan to make the pavilions a, quote, retail, entertainment, and engagement venue. That's one version of the future. Number two, Denver Chief Projects Officer Bill Mosher says he wants the pavilions to become, quote, the Union Station of Upper Downtown.
I saw that quote.
What does that mean to you two?
What? I don't get that.
I have seen a lot or heard a lot of comparisons to Union Station. And Union Station, I think Union Station has turned out great. I think Union Station's a nice spot. But it also kind of makes sense that the city would be involved there, as it is like, a transportation hub. I don't get that comparison though with the pavilion.
That's what I'm like, there's kind of not a train. Yeah. We're missing the train.
There's the mall bus. Is it still going to be called the mall bus now that it's not?
They call it the free ride. Bus? They call it the free ride now, not the mall.
The free ride. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not up on my Denver lingo. But I'm one of those people. I will always call DIA. It's always going to be the 16th Street Mall. Mile High Stadium will always be Mile High Stadium. I just and the North Side's always the North Side. I'm still.
Well, I don't know. I just, the Union Station comparison was weird for me, but I get what they're saying because like the whole thing about it being Denver's living room or whatever. I see that that's what they're wanting to do, and I get that they want it to be like a place to hang out, but you can't forget the whole like, I don't know, craziness that Union Station went through of like being the living room and then also people being forced out of the living room. Like last time I actually spent time in Union Station, I watched somebody get tackled by like 3 cops and get dragged out. Yeah. So like, it's not a place I don't know. Like it was really uncomfortable and like,
well, this gets back to your point, Valdemar, of when the city comes in and gets involved in these things and creates these kind of pseudo public private spaces, it's unclear what the expectations of the space are.
Yeah, and with Union Station, although kind of like what you were saying, like it took a while to get where it is today. Like it's not like this was their end vision and they just did it, and like 2 years later we had Union Station. It was a long evolution that kind of became what it is now, and a lot of that was like even retail places and other commercial places finding their place within that area around Union Station so that it would become what it is now. And I think the same thing has to happen with the pavilions is who's willing to go in there, like what kind of businesses are willing to go in there, who finds a value in a market in being there and allowing them to do this. This to me kind of feels like Denver or the Downtown Association or what is it? The Downtown Development.
Downtown Denver Partnership?
I was saying it's not the association, but
There's so much.
That they're kind of coming up with this is what we want and we're going to make it this and then we're going to like try and sell it to someone.
Yeah, they're kind of forgetting about the path to get there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You got to hope that they have a vision for it and that it's going to be appealing to someone and then Denverites will flock to it.
I hope so. I hope I'm wrong.
We want the best for the city.
This is a great investment and the city's going to get a return. And
I mean, you never left the pavilions. You've been there the whole time.
I've been there the whole time. But by being there the whole time, this is like going there like once every year or two. So
more
it's
than
not
me.
It's like I'm there all the time. But I do like the new, and like I said, I'm gonna have to get to 16th Street. Shut my mouth. My cousin was in town this past weekend, so we spent a lot of time downtown hanging out, and I do think it looks good. I like that now all the fencing's down and it's actually open. So I'm excited that hopefully that whole project is going to be a good return, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of Denverites feel the same way you do, because there was this Colorado Polling Institute survey done recently, and they found that voters who have been downtown tend to be more optimistic about the future of downtown. And if you haven't been there, you're less optimistic. So really it's just about seeing what's going on. And then people are getting the bug. People are feeling it.
That makes sense to me.
So anyway, that's the mayor. That's the big plan for downtown. If you go down there this weekend on Saturday, maybe say hi to me. I'm going to be there. I was promised there will be exclusive 16th Street merch, which I'm interested in. But if you see me, say hi. I'd love to chat. We want to hear from you. City Council does still have to vote on this expense because it's a high enough dollar amount for the pavilion. So there's still time to make your voice heard. Text or leave us a voicemail on the Dead Mall hotline at 720-500-5418. Again, the Dead Mall hotline is open at 720-500-5418. We're going to go to a break and then talk about something very controversial.
This episode is brought to you by MultiPass. Founded by event hosts for event hosts, MultiPass makes it easy to sell tickets and memberships and find local events. MultiPass is proudly based in Denver and deeply rooted in the local event and creative scene. MultiPass is different. It has a unique community chat feature that unlocks post-RSVP. This helps attendees connect and engage. So find your new BFF or just someone who wants to grab dinner before a show. And if you're an events producer, cash flow issues are a thing of the past with MultiPass's same-day payouts. Plus, it has revenue sharing tools already built in, which automatically splits ticket revenue between producers, performers, and promoters. I always say this, MultiPass would have saved me some real headaches back in the day with my DIY organizing. You guys have it easy. MultiPass, they're good. MultiPass is designed to help everyone in the event ecosystem win, not just the platform. Learn more at multipass.com. That's multipass.com. It's time to go over to our CityCast Denver neighbor and sponsor of this week's episode, Elizabeth Martinez with Compass Real Estate, for our weekly segment, Navigating Denver Real Estate, to answer all of your Denver housing market questions.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Martinez, and I realize I haven't properly introduced myself yet. I've always loved listening to CityCast Denver, and when I met David Plotz at Heyday, he suggested I do a segment like this. I told him, I love that. I tell everyone about the show. And since I'm also navigating my own real estate move here in Denver, I thought now was the perfect time to reintroduce myself. Porchlight, where I've happily been for the past 15 years, has now joined Compass Real Estate. And I'm so excited about the added resources and reach this brings to my clients, all while having the power of Porchlight still behind me. So my story goes, I was born and raised in Denver, Harvey Park to be exact, and now live in West Colfax. And I've been a licensed realtor for 19 years. Before real estate, I taught social studies at North High School and Denver Knight High School. My love for history, especially Colorado history, really comes through in my work. Every neighborhood has a story, and I love helping clients understand the why behind the different values and characters within the homes and the different neighborhoods. Whether you're buying your first home, moving up or downsizing, or investing, my passion is guiding you step by step, making the process smooth, clear, and maybe even a little fun. Colorado is full of history and heart, and helping people find the spot that really feels like home is what I love most.
This segment is sponsored by Elizabeth Martinez with Compass Real Estate. Have a question about Denver real estate? Use the link in the show notes to submit it. Elizabeth might answer your question in next week's segment.
All right, we're back. Before we get to our hot topic, I've got one more reminder for you about our fall membership campaign. Today is the very last day to sign up and get the tote bag. We are so close to our goal. We need your support. And honestly, you've heard so much of me and Olivia talking about this. So I just pulled some comments from people who've signed up this week. I want to talk about these because these comments are like, they makes me emotional every time I see this. Do you want to read one of these?
Crying right now.
I'm not. All right, just
Paul's
read some of the comments, Olivia.
All right, this one's from Jeff E. I recently moved to the Denver area and was looking for a local source for news and events. Having insider knowledge on what's going on, what restaurants I should try, can't wait to do a green chili tour, and other local tips is a big help and more interesting than what one might find elsewhere.
Fantastic idea, Jeff E. Green chili tour is a great idea. We should do that as a member event, but you got to join if you want to get an invite to that event. Let me do the next one. This is from Sarah G. Sarah G signed up this week because you guys keep me sane. As an elementary teacher in the Denver metro area, I eat my lunch trying to have downtime and calm down after hours of overstimulation. I eat my lunch and reset my classroom and listen to CityCast, and it makes me look forward to my weekends and helps me love my city. My favorite is the Friday episodes, like this one, with the wins and fails, which we'll get to in a few minutes. Thank you for all you do. Love CityCast. P.S. Can't wait to rock my tote. Sarah, thank you so much.
I hope you're wearing headphones when I'm on the show. Might be some controversial
for
things for the kids.
Give us one more. Give us one more, and then we'll get to our hot topic.
All right, we got one more from Robert K. You all do a fantastic job covering all topics Denver. I've been listening for 3+ years now. I love it. And sometimes I hate it. For instance, Pete Turner of Illegal Pete's. What an asshole. I am not ordering a tote bag. I won't use it. And that will save you a bit of money. Thank you.
Robert K.
I appreciate the honesty.
Gets it. Valdemar, Illegal Pete's versus Chipotle. Do you have a fave?
I go to Chipotle a lot more. But that doesn't mean that it's better. It's probably just convenient to where I live. I don't really have a stake. I do like Illegal Pete's. I think it has a cool vibe and atmosphere. Its atmosphere is better than Chipotle's. The actual product, I don't know. They're both good. I don't have a preference.
Wow. Hot take from Valdemar. Very diplomatic take. Fair enough. Well, there is the new Illegal Pete's in Wheat Ridge. We'll be talking about that exact strip mall in this hot topic because that was the site of a political controversy recently that we saw first on Libs of TikTok, of all places. But the question really for this hot topic is, has our politics become so toxic that we can't even live in the same city? We have yet another example of protests and online activism targeting a local business over suspected conservative leanings. This time it is The Works, a bar, bowling alley, and bike shop in Wheat Ridge. This is that Gold's Marketplace thing we've talked about. So like I said, Libs of TikTok, they had this video with the owner of this place talking about how last Sunday there was a meetup of local conservatives wanting to connect with each other, and I'm not exactly sure what they were talking about, but then this thing got picked up online, and apparently, according to the owners, they have been harassed for days with phone calls, and there was a protest outside their business, and there were flyers accusing the owner, whose name is Paul Porter, I guess, of being a MAGA supporter and of being homophobic and racist and all sorts of these things. So, Valdemar, I was really excited to talk to you about this because I wonder if you were invited to this meetup.
I was not invited. So, first of all, how dare they not invite me to this meetup?
Sorry about that, Valdemar.
No, I don't know. I also heard about this afterward, and I saw a previous post as to what it was. I'm not familiar with the group that met there. It seemed pretty innocent to me. I don't think they're anything,
it was called
far right.
It was called the Rocky Mountain Reckoning. I'll just give a look. I've got the event pulled up right now. It's a group. Their event was tired of feeling outnumbered. Show up, stand tall, and find your Colorado crew. The time is now. And it's basically a community of hardworking, freedom-loving conservatives who believe in a brighter future for Colorado. It starts by coming together side by side. So it was a casual meetup for neighbors. No rally, no
lovely
agenda.
Group of people right there.
No rally, no agenda, no signs. They said in their thing. They just wanted conservatives to come meet together at this brewery. So that's what it was for. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so really, the actual establishment had nothing to do with this, and I don't know. These things I think happen, and I think it's sad that we live in a world now where we have to attach a political label to everything. It's like, can I listen to this music? Is the artist on my team or their team? Can I watch this movie? Are the actors on my team or their team? Can I drink this product? Does this brand stand for my team or their team? And it's like everything. It's like people have to equate to whose politics am I supporting by going here, there. Why can't a product just be a product, an establishment just be an establishment? And it may be different for me in that I am a more right-leaning Republican conservative living in bright blue Denver. So I'm supporting people who have different political views than me all the time. Pretty much everywhere I go, I assume this person's probably more liberal leaning, and I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
Have you ever have you ever taken a pause and thought, ooh,
there are some products, if they kind of go too far, I'll get it in my head that like maybe I'm not going to buy that brand or support that. But I'm not like I'm going to go out and preach it and tell everyone else to not do this. One, I don't really think boycotts usually work. And things like this, there was the whole thing that happened like with Drip Coffee a while back.
Sure.
And I'd never heard of them until that. And now I go there all the time. Same thing. There was the bodega in Cherry Creek.
Drip Coffee is the coffee shop on Santa Fe that has some affiliation with a religious group that's people think is homophobic.
And they're like, it's a great place in that like they provide work opportunities for the unhoused. And they have there's a whole charitable side to their business that's great. They are Christians and they do have their views about homosexuality, but they're not anti-gay. When I went there, I'm a gay Republican. I went there, I told them who I was. At the time, I was the president of the Log Cabin Republicans, which is the LGBT side of the Republican Party. We had a good conversation. I was more than welcome there. So I think in some ways these things can almost backfire because they end up giving them publicity. Like with the Works, I know several people who are now holding events there. Really? And it's not like a big event, like they're not going to put out flyers. It's just, let's go hang out at the Works. And they're inviting all their friends. So they may end up getting more business because of this.
I'm curious though, because like, I don't know, it's been pretty well like documented that like the Drip, the owners and like founders of the Drip do have like homophobic ideals and stuff in their religion. And I'm just surprised, like as a gay man, that you would want to go patronize that. Like I'm just...
See, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness and I got kicked out and I got shunned by my family and I've seen what actual homophobic Christianity can do to people. And when I see what they're doing, it's not that. I think that a lot of people today don't realize like it's a little different because even I've spent the last like 15 years, my conversion to being a Republican is actually fairly recent. I used to always vote Democrat and I was more left-leaning in my politics. I was on the board of directors for the Colorado Springs Pride organization. For years, I ran the parade down there and dealt with a lot of things through that. And at the time, like my fight was, I just want the right for people to let me live my life. I don't want you to be forced to celebrate it. I don't want you to be forced to even accept it. Just let me do it. And in return, I am completely fine. You believe what you want to believe. I do believe in change and trying to change hearts and minds, but I think that has to happen through conversations. And so for the benefit of the doubt, let's talk about Drip Coffee and say, maybe they do have some homophobic leanings. How do we change that? Yeah. Is it going to be by standing out in front and protesting their business and calling them names? Is that going to make them think better of the LGBT community? Or if I go in there and have a conversation with the owner and tell him who I am, what I believe, what I think of what he believes, and respect him and as an individual, will that help him change his view of the LGBT community? And so
I want to move on because I want to get back to something you said earlier, because you posed a rhetorical question. You said, why can't a business just be a business? Why can't we just go and buy a coffee or get a bike fixed, And so I looked up some of the protesters. I looked up where some of this organizing was happening, which was on the Denver protest subreddit. And I shared this Libs of TikTok thing. And I was like, hey, has anyone heard about this? Like, did anyone do this? Anyone see this? Like, why'd you go? And it was honestly, it feels like it's existential for these people because it's an easy answer for them. Are they MAGA or not? If so, protest the F out of them. Because I think a lot of people on the left feel like Trump, and by extension voting for Trump, is an existential threat to their loved ones, to their livelihoods, to their way of being.
I think that's wrong. And I think it's sad that we've gotten to a point where people do feel that way because it does tell me, all right, so why do they think that someone being MAGA, and by that, I assume that they mean that they support Donald Trump, that they're an existential threat to them?
Trump has made comments discrediting the existence of people of color and queer people and trans people.
But if that's true, then what should you do to those people? Like what kind of world, like what, by telling people that, what are you telling people to do to the people who don't agree with them?
I mean, I think peaceful protest is probably a pretty good way to start.
But if it's an existential threat,
this is when it
goes
hard.
back to that whole thing. If you can go back in time and kill baby Hitler, would you?
Okay.
So if right now, what should you do? Like, what are you saying to do to people if we're labeling them an existential threat?
Yeah, I mean, this is where it gets hard. This is the question of the day.
And then going back, like here, I think the whole thing that happened at the Works is so small. Like it's just a business that allowed people to use its facility.
Yeah.
I've not seen any proof at all that the owner of the Works himself is a Republican, is conservative. He just is allowing them to use his space.
I agree.
I looked,
and he didn't even know. He didn't even know. I think that they even had conservative leanings when they came in.
Well, because why would he vet?
Just knew it was.
Why would he vet the events?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just renting out his brewery to like, you know, there's wouldn't really be a reason. I mean, unless we've gotten to a point in society where we need to start. I mean, I don't know. Like, do we need to start doing that?
What, vetting events?
vetting event. Like,
well,
if you're,
it's a branding question.
I mean, if you're a business owner and like, do you want to be associated with certain things? Do you want to like host a, like, I don't know, not that it's the same, but like if a group of like Nazis wanted to host a Nazi party at your brewery, would you say yes or no? Their money's still green.
Yeah.
It's like,
it is hard to go all the way to the extreme because it does seem like this stuff is escalating. We keep seeing these things. It's drip coffee. It's this whole remember the Public Square app with all the Trump supporting businesses on this app. And then there was the barbecue shop that was like, we don't support Trump. We don't know how we got on this app. And then the other one I want to talk about was I think it was this week, but this one was tough because there's a very old gay bar here called the R&R Bar. And they had a chalkboard out front, a sandwich board that said they were advertising the Charlie Kirk special at their bar. And then, quote, "It's just a single shot."
Yeah.
And they got some heat online for this. But this one was interesting. I wonder what you thought about this, Valdemar.
Yeah, I was actually the one who shared that picture and made it get out there. I didn't think it would become a thing. Another gay Republican friend of mine actually is the one who sent that picture to me. But I will say this also about the R&R. They reached out to the organization that then shared that picture afterwards, and the owner did not approve of that. He was disgusted by that on the board, and he took it down immediately. The whole thing was just the work of one bartender. Even the other staff there said they did not agree with it, so they put out a whole statement to the organization that shared that picture, which then they shared it with the public. But of course, it's one of those things. The original picture got like 1 million something views. The apology probably got like 200 views or something like that. So people don't see that. But even with that, like I think what that message on the board was horrible. But I'm not calling for like protesting that bar or a lot of the things they got. I think that they didn't deserve the hate, especially when seeing that it was just one bartender. It wasn't like the owner okayed it and put that up there. So it was a mistake on their part for that to happen. I don't know if anything happened to the bartender, but
so I want to talk about the future a little bit because that was an interesting situation, but like I was saying, it keeps happening. We keep seeing this. I feel like the Charlie Kirk assassination has given some people some pause to rethink the escalating rhetoric on both sides. But I wonder, Olivia, what do you think? Are we going to see more of this? Or are we going to see less of this? What do you think is the next step here?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is the honest answer. I think there probably will be more of this. I think we're at a stage of pause right now where people are kind of reevaluating and they're like, oh shit. But like, I mean, the script definitely got flipped with the Charlie Kirk stuff because there was this whole like, I mean, I guess before the cancel culture thing was kind of often on the left, and now it's kind of like you see so much on X of right-wing MAGA people being like, oh, I just called HR at your company because you made a joke about Charlie Kirk on Twitter, and I just got you fired. So like the cancel culture kind of flipping sides, and I just see it continually flipping back and forth. But as far as like protesting businesses and stuff, I think this is like increasingly one of the ways that people have to show, you know, dissent and to show how they feel about certain issues, because like as people feel like their voices aren't being heard as much in politics, you know, the power of the dollar still exists and people are voting with their dollar. And so where they choose to spend money or choose not to spend money is sending a powerful message, I think. I
totally agree. I think this in Denver, especially, the dynamic of it being a very blue city, it feels like there's some there's a lot of interest, and it feels like there's some like safety in numbers around these you know, organizing online around maybe allegedly conservative businesses. I think if anything, we see more of that.
Well,
here.
And I think also the like level of transparency, because like, you know, the people out front like protesting places being like, this is MAGA, don't support it. Like Valdemar said, for some people that has the opposite effect. They're like, oh, now I know where I want to spend my money. And then for other people, they're like, now I know where I don't want to spend my money. But either way, that offers a level of transparency to the person who is going to spend the money of this is what, you know, this business represents, like, because we're living in a time now where these businesses are, whether we like it or not, like a political statement, honestly.
I wonder if we're going to see the liberal counterpart, because like Trump has his own products, you know, you can buy those, and there's
the Trump cologne,
all this stuff, but like
the gold sneakers.
And there's been the companies that put the rainbow flags on their websites every June. You see that too. So it's kind of like
corporate pride. It's
the corporate pride, the branding, like this kind of stuff is increasingly political. I wonder if we'll see a company that's like, you know, Obama coffee or like, you know, drink blue soda or whatever.
Well, I was kind of wondering if Mike Johnston, they were going to open like a City of Denver merch store in the pavilions.
They should, 100%.
Yeah, they should.
Like if they're going to buy that, they're like, okay, first store we're opening, merch store. We're going to have a big blue bear stuff. We're going to finally get the licensing for Blucifer.
Olivia, yes.
So yeah, I think that's probably the first store they'll open in the pavilions, hopefully. But yeah, I think this is kind of that same vein. Well, Mike Johnston belt buckles. Come on.
I don't know about that.
Oh, well, I mean, okay, you're not the target audience.
Some of the others, maybe.
You're not the target audience here, Valdemar.
Okay.
But no, I think like we always talk about how the country is divided, and honestly, again, being a Republican in Denver, I find I talk to people, we talk issues, we talk things that we are not as divided as everyone tells us we are, but we just keep getting told we're divided.
I agree.
And it sticks in our head. Oh, that we're divided. I'm on this team. I have to like, even though like I guarantee all of you out there, there are people in your lives who you love, you like them, you talk to them all the time, and they have a different political view than you. They just may not have ever told you.
The fact that we're sitting here chatting right now, you know, and you and I mean, I could say that you and I are on different sides of the aisle, but like we're sitting here having a conversation.
And we probably agree on like 80% of things in the world.
We agree on the avalanche.
We may have different.
I don't know if I agree with Chipotle. You were a little too wishy-washy on the Chipotle take, but
I just don't have a strong, like, to me, Chipotle is better than Quiznos. Not Quiznos. What's the other one? Qdoba.
Qdoba. We can all agree. Yeah. Finally, the unifier.
Okay.
Qdoba is number 3.
I would agree with that. It is number 3. Those are the 3. But no, I do think that I don't know. I'd like to see people not being so motivated on life decisions on what politics someone else has. Now, and if it was an extreme, like if someone actually was a Nazi, that would be different.
Everyone's got a different definition where this line is.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a different definition where this line is. That's why that's hard. Anyway, we could keep talking about it. We will keep talking about it. You have to come back sometime, but we have to take one more break, and we're going to come back with Sarah G's. Is that her? Sarah G who said this earlier? Sorry. Sarah G. Sarah G's favorite part of the show, wins and fails.
Rocky Mountain highs and lows.
Hey, it's Bree, host of CityCast Denver, and I'm here with who?
Producer Olivia Jewel Love. Hey, we are here because it is our membership drive. So We need your help. Y'all know we are a small team, and every day we put on a new pod for you guys, put on a new newsletter for you guys, and that's a lot of work. Like, low-key, we make it look easy, y'all know, but honestly, like, we need your support.
And in exchange, there are perks. I think this is the newest thing. This is pretty cool, is you get invites to member-only events, and our last one was a banger. So if you want that information, sign up to be a member today. You also get a curated weekly list of events, of the best things to do in the city. Peyton puts that together every single week. And we give you a little space to share what you love about Denver in our podcast. So you could become a CityCast Denver neighbor today for just $10 a month or $100 a year. You can go to membership.citycast.fm. Sign up, super easy. And if you sign up now through October 3rd, what do you get, Olivia?
Tote bags!
All right, we're back. Best way to end the week. My favorite part of the show, it's Rocky Mountain highs and lows, aka wins and fails. We each brought a recent local something, one we think is a win, one we think is a fail, and we're going to talk about them. Olivia, would you like to start us off with a fail?
I would love to. My fail goes out to the leaf peepers. Last weekend, the town of Georgetown was forced to close to visitors because it was gridlocked by the amount of cars coming into Georgetown to look at the fall foliage. For an hour and a half on Saturday afternoon, Clear Creek Sheriff's deputies had to turn away traffic from I-70 and 285 heading into Georgetown. And only residents with, like, they had to show their ID that said they lived in Georgetown to be able to get into the town.
Beautiful.
Amazing. I used to work in Georgetown. I was a reporter up there. I mean, the fall is a cluster. Like, it is crazy. But like Guanella Pass is right in town. So like that is where everyone's going. And it's just, I mean, Georgetown is very cute and it's perfect for the fall. But the fact that it literally brought the town and two highways to a screeching halt, crazy for leaves. And I mean, if you see me up there this weekend, mind your business. But
do you have your Colorado ID? You still got Missouri.
Oh, I got Colorado ID. Also okay. Kansas.
All right. Sorry.
But yeah, so fail.
Amazing.
Fail.
Amazing Colorado story. Sorry to everyone who got stuck in there, but what a
hope you had snacks.
Hope
you had an emergency granola bar in your
that sounds
purse.
Like not a fun time.
Oh my god. Also, if you were someone that lived in Georgetown just trying to get home, it's just like
Valdemar, your fail.
Yeah, I decided not to go with anything too like controversial or crazy, and I'm taking this very personal, and it's probably a fail for nobody but me.
Okay.
I work at the airport, and a lot of the changes they've done over the past several years, they've been great for travelers. I love the new security entrance point for travelers, but as someone who works there, all these little things keep adding a few minutes to my travel time to get to work. So maybe because the new security checkpoint or the TSA is on this side of the airport, it now takes me like 5 minutes longer to walk there from where I used to. Not a big deal, but you add that on to they just moved the employee parking lot. And this week, they've closed the exit that the shuttle used to leave because they're doing construction over there. So now the shuttle has to leave out the other side. This is from the employee parking lot and drive further around. That now adds another like 4 minutes to my travel time. So yes, my fail is because I'm being inconvenienced 4 minutes. But you add those 4 minutes to everything, it now takes me like a half hour longer to get to work.
It adds up.
And so my fail is just me bitching about the parking lot at the airport for the employees.
I'm so glad to know this because I have been talking about how much I love these changes and I had no idea.
They are. I will say it is great for people traveling. I love the new, it's easier than the new security points. And they also do not have an employee lane anymore. They used to have one.
Oh, wow.
So you got to wait in the security line?
So now I have to wait in the same security line with everybody else. Yes.
Do
they not know who I am?
Can I not just VIP?
Can I not just walk through security like we used to show my ID? I still had to go through like the detector and all that.
Yeah, but they had a different.
But yeah, we had an easier line where we could just show our ID real quick, go in. Now it's just
damn.
This makes me really understand. Remember that viral video like last year of that pilot who's like, got an axe out and chopped down the arm. I'm like, that makes me understand him a little better.
I love that guy. I don't know who he is.
I was like, me understand that a little better.
I was like, yes, chop it down. There have been so many times I was ready to just drive through that thing and break it down myself.
Oh my God.
Because, and that's, I won't even
This is a joke for GIA.
Yeah, there's a whole, they have moved our employee parking around so much and changed things so much. Things like that happen. And it's very irritating. So I 100% understand what that pilot went through. And I was like, yes, break that thing down.
I understand him a little more now.
So this goes out to all you Denver airport employees who know what I'm talking about. We're probably the only ones who care.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had a vent there.
That was great.
Amazing. I love that. I'm so. If you were a Denver airport employee, call in. Let us know are you feeling this too? 720-500-5418. My fail this week is a story we've talked about a lot in the last couple of weeks. This Starbucks, the coffee company, they have closed a bunch of stores in the city. It's part of the new CEO, former Chipotle CEO, Brian Nichols, big project for Starbucks to bring people back to the cafes. So they're closing some ones they don't like. And that includes, as we were tipped off to this by someone last week who works there, the Starbucks at REI. Which
it's going away.
It's closed. It's closed, I think, already.
It's gone.
This was my favorite one. When I was living downtown, it was a perfect walk. Just up the river, sit outside, watch the water, watch the people, enjoy some coffee. And it's a really comfortable space. And it's just the antithesis of what his stated policy is.
Well, maybe they'll bring like a locally owned coffee shop and put it in there. And
Please.
That would be,
yes.
I wouldn't care.
Huckleberry Roasters.
That it had changed.
Queen City Co-op.
Might be better.
That's what I was thinking. Those
Corvus.
two would be great.
Bring it on.
But it is that is like the perfect spot for a coffee shop, like right there on the river. And
I just wanted to give a shout out to the person who tipped us off because they let us know early this was happening, and their note, like, it broke my heart. I have to read some of this. They said, this store has always been more than just a place to grab coffee for climbers, cyclists, travelers, trolley riders on their way to Mile High, Confluence Park, regulars, RTD commuters, photographers, and tourists from around the world. It's been a true crossroads. With its unique vintage lobby, it felt like a hub for the city, and the partnership with REI gave it a character unlike any other Starbucks in the nation. For me, it was home. To many of us, this feels like the end of an era. A 25-year run in one of the most beautiful and historic locations in Denver deserves recognition.
25 years.
So thank you for reaching out to that person. I won't share their name because I think they broke some of their contract.
It's your anonymous
reaching
source.
Out my anonymous source at Starbucks.
I've been watching a lot of like really sad TikToks of Starbucks partners, aka that's what they call baristas.
Really? Okay.
They call them partners. I got hired at Starbucks one time and never started working there. But I been watching a lot of sad TikToks about them finding out their store is closing, like essentially like right when it was closing. They're like, by the way, you're closing now. Wow. And so then they're like, they force the employees to like close out the store too after they tell them they don't have a job anymore. It's like heartbreaking watching it happen.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
Sucks.
That one, I felt that one because I really did love that location, and for the future, perhaps better. Anyway, wins. Olivia, I think you should start us off.
Okay. So this win is Anythink Libraries, which they serve Adams County, but like Colorado. They're launching free access to like over 300 banned books and challenge titles to anybody in Colorado. So they're releasing this in time for National Banned Books Week, which starts next week. I read this on CPR. So they've got this new app with their Freedom to Read collection. It's going to be available for anyone over the age of 13 to read through the Palace Project app. And you don't have to have a library card. You just have to enter your name, your email, and make a password. And then you verify your email, which like verifies that you're in Colorado. And then you can borrow whatever title you want. So there's going to be like a bunch of banned books. And then there's going to be some important like historical documents like the Constitution and stuff in there. But they're just going to be accessible because there's still some banned book like litigation going on like in Elizabeth and the Elizabeth School District and stuff. So this is a way for everybody to have access to those titles.
Valdemar, any comment on the banned books being more accessible?
No, I think that we should have access to all these literatures. I'm very close, very, very close to being a free speech absolutist. I I do think there are some very rare exceptions, but people should be able to see these different viewpoints in that, as long as they're age appropriate for you at your age or whatever. But as adults, read everything.
I think I will go next, and then Valdemar, you can close us out. So my win is unfortunately mostly a fail. So I'm sorry about that. But
Nice.
there was a big vote that the RTD board made this week, where they voted to increase the rates of this access on demand service, which has been exploding in popularity and serves people with disabilities who they call it this service, and it's like an Uber, but it's public. So you get a driver come pick you up, take you where you need to go. So they increased rates from $0 to $4.50, despite an absolute outpouring of support for this program. People showed up to an RTD meeting like they never do and were devastated and disappointed. And all I saw was hurt feelings. So that is obviously the fail. But the tiny piece of this that is a win, I have to give to Chris Nicholson, the RTD director for Central Denver, who, in response to a thread criticizing his decision and the rest of the board's decision to increase these rates, he posted and explained why he was doing it in detail. And he said it's the hardest decision he's had to make on the board. And he said he's not sure he made the right call, and he's still thinking about it. But he explained that RTD is facing a $50 million shortfall, and this was the only way they could keep the service available. So that's a win for transparency and for a public official who cares about communicating why they make the decisions they do. So we voters can make informed decisions next time they're up for election.
I actually thought about making that my loss, our fail this week. That although I did read that, and I read some other things, then I kind of was on the fence, like I don't know, and I did hear it could have been 6 something, but they brought it.
I appreciate the transparency, but I do feel like it's so much more than hurt feelings, like what you talked about in the meeting. I mean, these are people's lifelines to get to medical appointments, to work, to where they live,
jobs.
Exactly. It's literally a lifeline for people. So I can see why people would show up like their life is on the line, and it's disappointing.
So we'll post some links. There's some heartbreaking stories of people who talking about how they'll be affected by this, and I mean, we'll obviously be following this story as it develops. Valdemar, your win.
My win for the week is Bill Schmidt has stepped down from his role as general manager of the Colorado Rockies, and the Rockies will begin an external, that's the important part, search for a new head of baseball operations immediately. Now, I have nothing against Mr. Schmidt, but I think this is good because it shows the public that the Rockies are actually going to try to do something different. And this is probably just the first step in a lot of things that may need to happen. I went to a ton of Rockies games this year.
Really?
I even went on the 4th of July. I was in Boston, and the Rockies happened to be there, and I went to Fenway Park watched the Rockies get their butt whooped by the Boston Red Sox.
Did you wear purple?
I did wear my Rockies jersey.
Wow.
And I got a lot of pity. No one was mad. No one was mad.
They didn't even care.
They're like,
no
bless
cared.
your heart.
Like, look at you. That's so we're sorry. But actually, though, I was surprised how many other purple jerseys I saw there.
Oh, interesting.
Now, they were pretty much all people who live in Boston who used to live here.
Okay.
So there was a call, because I talked to them all. We had an instant friendship there.
Yeah.
But it did get to the point, after that, when I came back from Boston, July 4th, I was like, all right, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired. I did go to the final home game because a friend invited me. I was like, all right, I'll go. And I saw them win. They won.
Hell yeah.
And they were winning. And I think it was the Angels were up. The crowd was standing up. We were standing because we were like, you would have thought they were about to win a championship. We were just so happy they're going to win a game. Because I had not seen them win a game in years in person.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of sad. You go to the game, you want to support your team. They're just so bad. They're so bad. They make it hard. They're making it hard for us to love them, and we want to. So I'm happy that this is hopefully a step that there's going to be some change in the organization there. And so that was my win for the week.
I'm so with you. I'm so ready to be a Rockies guy.
Yes.
To be there in the stadium. Like, I saw a game this year. I had such a good time. They lost, of course. But yeah, I mean,
of course,
it's time.
I've
it's
heard
time.
the Purple Marg is really good that they serve there.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I've heard
it's a great stadium. Like the stadium's just amazing. So
purple's a fun color too.
Yeah, we need a good team to go along with it.
Cute.
Okay, here we are at the end of the show. I have a couple last things. One, a reminder: Bakefest. We're sponsoring Bakefest. The Rebel Bread is putting on this awesome event. I'll be there judging a category tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. So come out if you want to have some delicious baked goods and get up close to the best piece of public art in town, Herbert Bayer's Articulated Wall.
I thought you were talking about you. I was like, wow, Paul.
And then also just one last reminder. This is the end, folks. This is the end of the Friday show. It's the end of our fall membership campaign. This is actually the last chance. You can get the tote bag if you sign up this weekend, but you have to do it this weekend. Sign up and become a member at membership.citycast.fm. This is a time, as we were talking about earlier, where people have never been more disconnected and polarized, especially in this city where we can't even go to the same businesses without fighting with each other. And our hope is that CityCast is the antidote that the community needs. We want to help fix this problem. We want to connect people. We want to build a community. And if you care about that, if you want to be a part of that, now is the time to invest in this community, in CityCast Denver, and become a neighbor today. Membership.citycast.fm.
We're fixing the world one tote bag at a time.
Yes, get your tote bag.
Get that tote bag, folks. Valdemar, Olivia, thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. Our producers this week were Zoe Culkin, Selena Sierra Reynolds, Natalie Rivera, Olivia Jewel Love, and me, Paul Caroli. We record at the Dude IDK Studios here in 5 Points. Peyton Garcia writes our morning newsletter, Hey Denver. Abby Madigan runs our social media. Bree Davies is our host and will return soon. Our music is by Los Mocochetes with additional mixing by Tyler Lindgren. If you haven't already, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, follow us on Instagram at CityCast Denver, and tell the guy who owns the works about us the next time you see him. And thank you so much to all of the new CityCast Denver neighbors who have joined during our membership program. I am talking about you, Wade C., Jeffrey E., Hannah H., Brianna M., Sarah S., Robert K., Josh W., Jason B., Amy B., Christian F., Corinne or Corey J., Sabrina D., Diane K., Rachel Del G., Sarah G., Landon S., Elise M., Hallie W., Catherine D.A., Zach H., Kelly K., Emilia O., Kelly C., Melat K., shout out Melat, Ben L., Michelle L., Diane H., Matt M., Eddie S., Ashley E., Heather F., Zachary R., Jane D., Andrew H., Alexandra M., and last but not least, Justin D. Oh my God, you guys, thank you so much. Please give yourselves a pat on the back and thank you. If you are not on that list, it's not too late. You can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Denver neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. And if you want the tote, you got to do it soon. You can sign up for our daily newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. See you next week. That was awesome.